Good morning everyone. Welcome to 40 days UPSC quick revision program. This is day number 16. So far we have covered essay writing and ethics. I am left with GS paper 1, 2 and 3. So in GS paper 1 and 2 and 3, I am starting with GS paper 2 in which you have governance, social justice. I will also cover GS paper 3 का एक topic है इधर inclusive growth, and then certain aspects of GS paper 1, that is society. At times this also has a relevance with GS paper 3 internal security component. So all these things will be for 100 marks. So let's quickly discuss about how to address governance and social justice aspects questions. Before that, in my last 15 classes, I have made it very clear the aspects of society and social justice. I said what is government, what is governance, and what is welfare. In the government, I said civil servants play a crucial role. Other stakeholders like civic societies play a crucial role. In civic societies, you have NGOs, self-help groups, donors, trusts, charities, all these institutions. Along with this, private agencies also play a crucial role in the aspects of governance, so that by the end of the day, welfare of the people is reached. Welfare can be of various sections: children, women, physically disabled, senior citizens, SCs, STs, minorities, linguistic, regional, religion minorities, poor, urban poor, rural poor, right? All this, and then LGBT sections, all these communities are there. So doing welfare to them, these players play a very crucial role. So again, whenever they ask a question on governance, never miss the components of good governance. You have to always write your answer in the components of good governance, where there are 8 essential elements of good governance as per United Nations program, right? 8 essential elements. 8 essential elements. Right. So in this context, like accountability, transparency, inclusivity, grievance redressal, public participation. So like this we have something. So please have a look at that. Already we discussed. So everything has to be covered in this domain, and we have to write all these. Now what I am going to start is this aspect of governance, on which you can have an understanding about how to write GS paper 2 answers. Now if you look at GS paper 2 syllabus, you have polity in it, you have governance in it, you have social justice in it, you have international relations in it. Now whenever I say governance and social justice, there will be 6 questions, 3 10 marker, 3 15 marker, which means 30, 45, 75. Here there will be somewhere around 100, here there will be 40, here there will be somewhere around 60, right? So 60 to 70, that will be the questions depending upon polity and this. So this will be the component. So governance and social justice will be your 6th question, 7th question, 8th question, 9th question, most probably. Sorry, 6th question, 7th question, 16th question, 17th question, most probably. That would be your questions. At times they can ask one more thing extra. So that will be the quantum of questions that you have in governance. Let's look at that component and see how to write these answers. Right, first of all, what I'm going to make you to understand is, look at the questions of governance, they go under one theme. What is that theme? Understand the theme, you will be able to write the answer. This is 2022 question. So I said the first 5 questions will be of your polity component. Look at here. Discuss the role of NCBC, National Commission for BCs, in the wake of transformation from a statutory body to a constitutional body. This is the question. Now where this can be applied? This can be applied in one section that is called backward classes. Backward classes welfare is one thing that you have to look. So pieces. For backward classes in India, recently we have seen National Commission for BCs was constituted and that was given constitutional status. Earlier it was statutory status. Now the question that they are asking is, what is the role of NCBC after becoming constitutional status? Now, for any constitutional body which is designed for this, there will be common roles. What are the common roles? To protect the constitutional provisions of backward classes, statutory provisions of backward classes, to implement programs related to backward classes. Fourth one, to take or to recommend government on any plan which is related to backward classes. Fifth one, to ensure that there is equal growth and inclusive growth of backward classes. Sixth one, any policy making by government of center or the state governments has to take the permission of backward classes. This is the thing. Now after upgrading it to constitutional status, what you will get, what is the difference between constitutional status and statutory status? The moment you get constitutional status, there will be constitutional protection for the people who are in this regime. That is, you have one chairman, you have vice chairman, two vice chairmen, and three members. Three members. Like that, you will have five members here. So in this, they will have constitutional guarantee of their constitutional guarantee of their chair, and they will have more powers to exercise their duty under the constitution. So this question, whenever they ask like this, the role of National Commission of Backward Classes, please you can write the same for National Commission for Human Rights, National Commission for Women, National Commission for Children, National Commission for SC/ST, National Commission for BC. Any statutory body, any constitutional body, power will be same. Hence, the answer for these type of questions will be undergoing with a common theme. That is what you have to understand. And what is that common theme? The theme that I have said to you people. Have a look at it, from where this question was picked up. Various statutory, regulatory, constitutional, judicial bodies. This is the question. When they ask these type of questions, answer will be, framework will be same for any commission. So the only thing is, depending upon the commission, it will say what are the functions that you will study in Lakshmikant. You have to just prepare the draft and then write what are the changes. Right, the draft, I'll prepare it to you, I'll give it to you, you just follow that model. That will be more than enough. Next, look at this question. The Gati Shakti Yojana needs meticulous coordination between the government and the private sector to achieve the goal of connectivity. Now look, Gati Shakti is something related to GS paper 3. Abhi wo question GS paper 2 mein diya. Question is why they have given this in GS paper 2. Because this is related to governance and this is also related to one aspect known as public policy making. Right, so that is why they have given this question. Look at the question. The Gati Shakti Yojana needs meticulous coordination between government and private sector. For what? To achieve the goal of connectivity. Discuss. Question कहाँ से लिख दिया आप? The question sheets, they are asking about, in order to achieve any project, whatever the project that is Gati, Shakti, Yojana or anything, who are the key elements in governance today? That is the question. The key elements of governance is civic societies, government, private. So they are saying these two are playing a very crucial role. Apart from that, equally civil society has to play their role. Now, why private sector plays a very crucial role in any of the welfareistic schemes? Because particularly in infrastructure schemes, they share huge component of capital. They bring in capital, technology, and high resource use efficiency. They bring the capital, they bring the technology, they utilize the resources to the maximum level, right? And within timely completion of the project. They have timely completion of the project, unlike your government things. As a result, what it requires is a meticulous private participation. Now, what private players do not have is, unlike government, they cannot get the permissions very easily, permissions to clear the roads or for laying the roads, right? And settling the disputes at the local level, like with the people, right? Paying compensation to the people and clearance, environmental clearances, all these clearances government can get very easily. Hence, if government is looking at permissional aspect and the private player is allowed a free hand, the Gati Shakti program is going to be successful. Now, this question cannot be just limited to Gati Shakti. It can be any type of answer. So the point that I am saying is any type of question which is related to these things. Because in the developmental process, this is the question that they are asking. In the developmental process, you have these agencies along with private player. Never forget private player. So whenever they give any program and they say that what is the role of private player in it? What is the role of private player? So private players play crucial role on par with your government in development. What is the development? Whatever it is, whether that is Gati Shakti, road connectivity, or any project of government. Question can be on any project. Today they asked on Gati Shakti, tomorrow they can ask any project. But the answer is same. What is that? Government will have certain roles here, private player will have certain roles here, and the third player is civic society will have play certain place. What is the government's role? Getting environmental clearance, paying compensation to the common people, and looking at law and order while they are laying the roads. Along with this, if the government can support in form of investments, that is completely good for the project. Private players, I already said, what they bring in, they are very essential. They bring the skill that is required to lay, they bring the technology that is required to lay, they bring the capital along with the government that is required to lay. They complete, or they are very efficient in completing these type of projects and timely completion of the projects. So this will be the thing. Next one is civic societies also play crucial role in development. What are civic societies? From the syllabus itself, remember, the civic societies are NGOs, self-help groups, donors, charities, institutions, and other stakeholders, right? All these are civil societies. They also play crucial role, NGOs, these things. Depending upon the question, you can write whether civic societies have any role here or not. Okay. So NGOs do at times play crucial role. Self-help groups at times do play crucial role in depending upon the projects. Donors play crucial role. Charity play crucial role. Right. All these play very crucial role. So this is how you have to write the answer. Now how to write that type of answer? Come back. Gati Shukta Yojana needs meticulous coordination between government and private sector to achieve the goal of coordination. Now what should be your introduction, guys? Any general studies answer should again have three components: introduction, body, conclusion. Intro, body, conclusion. In the introduction, what you have to write, directly explain about the program, what they are speaking. So Gati Shakti Yojana, Government of India has launched Gati Shakti Yojana. as a part of its budget 2022 with the aim to enhance the connectivity. This is a part of the larger ambit of national infrastructure pipeline which government has unveiled with rupees 111 lakh crores. Gati Shakti Yojana tries to mobilize rupees 20 lakh crores as a part of it. That is more than enough. If you know that Yojana, this is the thing that you can write. However, in order to get this 20 lakh crores, government along with private players has to play a very crucial role. The reasons are, what are the reasons? Government role, private role. Together, if they are cooperating, whatever I have said, you are going to achieve the role of connectivity. That is the thing that you have to write. Now look at one more thing. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 remains only a legal document without intense sensitization of government functionaries and citizens regarding disability. Comment. Right. Now, look at this. Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 was made in order to ensure that the number of disabled has been increased from 7 to 21 as a part of it, the number of categories of disability. Second thing is, it made reservations in higher educational institutions from 4% to 5% for the disabled. It made reservations in employment from 3% to 4% for the disabled. Next one that they did is, as a part of Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan, what they have? Accessibility. All the public spaces has to have accessibility to these people. So these are the major things that the rights of persons with disabilities have. However, even after 7 years of implementation, the act has not gained traction. Why? Because there is lack of sensitization of government functionaries. Now look, they have given about one section and they are asking how this section can be improved. What does this mean? The question is speaking about these people. In this, you have disability. Now, why these people are, whatever the program it is, whether that is Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan, whether that is National Rights of Persons with Disabilities, whatever the act is, if you want to substantially improve this livelihood, so this is an aspect of social justice. What is social justice? You have to look and promote this welfare of these people. What is important? I said civic society, civil servants are important. How civil servants means government, directly government is important. Along with this, civic society should play a crucial role. What is civic society? Your self-help groups, NGOs, charities, donors, trusts, and private organizations all should play a crucial role. Why? Government functionaries means public servants should have sensitization, that is empathy. It is speaking about empathy of civil servants along with these people. No, it is directly asking again the same question. Which question? This question. In order to reach a development of anything, now that is project development, now here welfareistic development. Welfare of whom? One section, that is disabled people. Now what they are saying, government should get sensitized, government functionaries should have empathy for welfare schemes along with participation of civic society. So in the welfare schemes, these two people will come, more or less. Government also plays, private also plays at times crucial role in this. Now what is the role of government here? Policy implementation, policy making, policy implementation, policy monitoring. Make the policy strictly, implement the policy strictly, and monitor the policy strictly with a human face. Then only it is going to achieve. Along with this, civic society has to play a very crucial role. Why? They have to arise the civic people awareness in the public about physically disabled people, awareness among the physically disabled about their rights and acts. Then they should also play complementary role to the government by establishing proper infrastructure which is required for disabled persons. Like they can establish shelter homes, they can establish some infrastructure that is required for the people. Which infrastructure? Like assistance devices implementation program. Government has launched assistance development implementation program for this. So like this, as government cannot play everything, civil society can come and mobilize the civic society all together for the welfare of the people. So the point is this: even though you know nothing about rights of persons with disabilities, still you can build up the answer saying that one data you have to remember: the total number of disabled persons in the country is 2.18 crores as per 2011 census. So you can start with this. As per 2011 census, India has 2.18 crore disabled persons. In this context, in the year 2016, Government of India has introduced Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. However, the Act has been 7 years have passed, but the Act has been not shown substantial improvement on the ground. The reasons are lack of empathy or apathetic attitude of the government functionaries, as well as lack of awareness about citizens. Hence, it requires a coordination between government functionaries and citizens accordingly. What happens now? A role of empathy of government functionaries. First one is government should be very empathetic in policy making, policy implementation, and policy development. For example, take one disability section and write about it. For example, for those persons who cannot walk, uh, who have physical immobility, physical impairment. So for those people, Government of India should ensure that they are constructing some public access infrastructure, right? That is one example. For those people who cannot hear and see, government should give assistance like infrastructure at a very low price. That is policy making. Similarly, citizens who show apathetic attitude towards these people should also be sensitized about this. In this, civic societies plays a very crucial role because they have to create awareness among the citizens about these people. They should enlighten the disabled persons about their rights. And three, they should act as ears and eyes and ears for these disabled people, so that whenever they are seeing some crisis, they have to implement the government and make the executive to implement their policy. In this way, the act will function. Otherwise, the acts, though they are on the paper, they will not sustain over a period of time. So this is the question, which means what I'm saying is today they have asked about rights of persons with disabilities. Tomorrow they can ask anything. But the question is not this. The question is about why any act is not getting implemented. Why, how we can make other players to be a part of it. So the question is saying the role of certain institutions in your policy making. That is the question all about. Look at the eighth question. Reforming the government delivery system through DBT is a progressive step, but it has limitations. Now, if you look at this question from where you can put government delivery means governance through DBT. I said in governance, you have DBT. The moment you are seeing DBT, direct benefit transfer, it means e-governance. So the question is directly limited to e-governance. Now they are asking what it has. It has limitations to. What are the limitations of e-governance? Directly I discussed what are the limitations of e-governance. So you have to write. So what should be your introduction? I said introduction in general studies has to be explanation of key term. What is direct benefit transfer? Direct benefit transfer is the progressive step that Government of India has initiated to transfer the beneficiaries, the beneficial amount directly into their accounts by eliminating the middlemen. That can be the introduction. And then you can write a diagram: DBT, government, citizens, direct transfer of benefit. Otherwise, what happens? Government, middlemen, and then citizens. Because of this, there are some activities. So it is a progressive step. Why it is a progressive step? That is introduction. This is your diagram. Then why it is a progressive step? You have to write why it is a progressive step, because it is going to eliminate middlemen. Because of this middlemen, corruption is going to get reduced. Because of this, the transparency is going to increase, right? Whatever the advantages that it has, it makes the governance citizen-centric governance. People participation will be more. Social audit can be done very easily, and then tracking of the beneficiaries very easy, and bogus beneficiaries are kept out. So all these things are advantages of e-governance. I already said what are the advantages of e-governance, and you have to write in the similar manner. But it has its own limitations. Absolutely, it has its own limitations, such as everyone should have bank account here. Everyone should have electronic gadgets here to know whether the account has been there or not. The third one is technical challenges like lack of cyber security today. Maybe if you are transferring there through their bank accounts can be hacked very easily when these people are using this, and lack of technological access. Whatever I said, the limitations in e-governance, you have to write all those things. So the question, so whenever you look at the question, you should be able to understand what the question is speaking about and how the question is being oriented. So that is most important here rather than the rest of the things. So these are the three questions that they asked. So the question is about one commission, that is NCBC. I said for any commissions, framework is same. The second question is role of private players and government. The third question is about role of government plus civic societies. The fourth question is about this one, that is e-governance. So these are the four questions. So one question I consider it as polity. The rest of the three questions is governance and social justice. Look at this 16th question and 17th question. Besides the welfare schemes, Government of India needs debt management of inflation and unemployment to serve the poor and underprivileged. If you want to help the poor and underprivileged sections, what is important? Management of inflation and unemployment is very, very important. Discuss. Obviously, besides welfare schemes. Now, what is the question about? Again, the same thing. Government is there, beneficiaries are there, there are stakeholders. Now, policy making. This is about policy making. How should your policy be there? Policy should not just concentrate on welfare schemes. Welfare schemes is one component, but tackle something which is causing poverty or poor to the people. That is most important. That is what it is being said. Now, what exactly is it? So now if we look at this question is again the same thing, but here it is public policy making. In order to make people, welfare of the people, the concept is about welfare. What is that thing which is not translating or which is making people to be far away from welfare? That is lack of inclusive growth. Why? Though India has substantial growth in terms of economy, somewhere around we are growing before demonetization and before GST, we were growing at 12% growth, but slowly we have fallen to 6%. But even this is a very good growth given the contemporary economic gains. But one question that we have to understand is, though we are growing, we have to ensure that people are not getting welfare schemes. Why people are not getting welfare schemes? That is the question. People are not getting welfare because that growth is non-inclusive. So the moment growth is non-inclusive, you are leaving many sections out of this. Hence, in order to translate growth into inclusive growth, this is not transferring into non-inclusive growth. As a result, though there is growth, there will be no development. Hence, what it requires is growth should translate into development through inclusivity. How you can make this inclusivity possible? That is a question, right? How you can make inclusivity possible? What is inclusiveness? Inclusiveness means again this one only, whatever I have been saying. All these sections has to be in the part of development or in the part of growth, which means policy making for them is very, very important. So if you are making that inclusiveness, so what is important here is government should consciously design a policy, design policies which target this section. That is important. Which target this sections. Which sections? The sections that I have shown earlier. Now, in that, what are the policy decisions? Policy decisions should be to tackle poverty. In order to tackle poverty, there should be no unemployment. If you are targeting this, there will be no inequalities, no poverty. This leads to inclusive growth. Otherwise, exclusive growth happens if these three things are there. Hence, public policy making should focus on removal of poverty, removal of unemployment, removal of inequality. Hence, anything, whenever they ask how we can remove poverty, how you can remove inequalities, how you can ensure inclusive growth, for all these questions, there are some common answers, common sentences. You have to always remember this. So, for eradication of poverty, first thing is give employment. Before giving employment, you cannot get employment unless you have skill. You cannot get skill unless you have education. You cannot get education unless you have good food, good health. You cannot get good health unless you have good food. Right? These are basic things. Now, you cannot get food unless the food prices are low, which means inflation is tackled. Apart from that, what are the important things? So government should produce all these things. As a result, you can overcome this problem. So poverty eradication programs includes this. How government of India is trying to have it. So inflation is going to have huge impact on the poverty because it is the poor who is going to suffer from increasing prices. For the food, government of India has to continue the programs like National Food Security Act 2013, which they are giving. For the health, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, in which Ayushman Bharat is a component of it. Education, the right to free and compulsory education for all the people. Skill India program. Employment, something like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So these things if government is giving, then definitely it is going to address poverty. Apart from that, depending upon the sections of citizens, if it is farmers, focus on their welfare. How farmers can be given protection through PM Kisan, where government of India gives 6,000 rupees per year in 3 installments to all the farming sections. So if you are developing on these 3 things, then definitely poverty is going to be eliminated. This is how public policy should be there. You have to focus on this, and apart from this, these are human development parameters. You have to develop social development also. Human development, along with this, social development should be there. What is social development? Public hospitals, public schools, these are must in any welfareistic school, in any welfareistic government. Public hospitals, public schools, these are very must. You have to focus on these things, then only government is going to. For public hospitals, what you have to do? You have to develop strong 3-tier administration, that is primary healthcare centers, secondary healthcare centers, tertiary healthcare centers. And for public schools, you should have strong primary education, secondary education, high school education, higher education. For all this, you should have programs. Hence, this is the way. Apart from that, 1, 2, there should be public transport, very important to reduce transportation cost and to increase safety of the people. Fourth one, public infrastructure, like public infrastructure should be present where people have qualitative access to electricity, qualitative access to roads connectivity, qualitative access to, this is transportation, right? Qualitative access to electricity, roads, sanitation. You should have good sanitation facilities for the public. You should have water to drink. These are the basic essentials. For this, Government of India also has focused on to bring electricity. Pradhan Mantri Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana, where it is connecting all the villages with 24/7 electrical supply. We know this, right? Through this mechanism, they are going to achieve this welfareistic objective. After this, government is focusing on roads through Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. You have railway connections where government of India is trying to upgrade its road connectivity, railway connectivity, and in order to make transport much easy, government of India has also introduced something like Vande Bharat mission, sanitation facilities, Swachh Bharat mission, water, Jal Jeevan mission. So Government of India has launched each and everything for public schools. Government is reviving its program for public hospitals. Government is exclusively focusing on primary and secondary healthcare centers. For tertiary healthcare centers, you have Ayushman Bharat. These are the things which government has. So in short, whenever they are asking these type of questions, welfareistic questions, your answer should not confine only to that question, but your answer or your thinking has to go beyond that extent and think about this. So overall, what you have to understand is whenever we are speaking about government, you should remember that government is the structure that is there to do a task. What is that task? Welfare of the people. Now, whenever I say welfare of the people, you should know who are these people. The most important people are vulnerable sections, which constitutes this. Hence, government has some schemes. Questions can be asked on that respective section. Whatever the section the question is, whether that is for children, whether that is for women, that is for BCs, that is for SCs, but that is for STs, physically disabled, whatever the question is, the answer will be same. That is what you have to learn. After this, not only government can play everything, because today you have a population of 135 crores, government is limited. The functionaries of government are limited. I cannot solve each and every problem that every section of community this great land has. So then I have to take the help of other players also. As a result, I have other stakeholders in governance. Who are this? Along with government, private players should play crucial role. Along with together private and government, civic society also should play crucial role. That is NGOs, self-help groups, trusts, donors, charitable institutions. All these people should play a very crucial role in the development process. If they are doing this together, then success is going to be achieved. So the point is, whenever they are asking questions, the questions can be asked on the role of government, the role of stakeholders, private or civic society, or they can ask about the welfareistic programs that are being launched and how that can be launched. Right. Now, inclusive growth, public policy. Public policy, you have to focus on these things. Whenever they ask a question on these things, you have to write about it. अभी देखो क्वेश्चंस एक ही मॉडल में है, how to write answers for this. Besides the welfareistic programs, India needs deft management of inflation and unemployment to serve the poor and the underprivileged sections of the society. Explain. Besides the welfareistic schemes, India needs deft management. अभी जो भी मैं पूछ रहा हूँ वही था. Welfareistic schemes is some free schemes, freebies. What you control is inflation, unemployment to serve the poor and the underprivileged. Why? Because they are interlinked with this. So whenever they ask this question, try to directly, what should be your answer, guys? You have to take keywords, underprivileged sections of the society, besides the welfare sections. So what will be the introduction for this? Many of us write about inflation, many of us write about unemployment. This is not the question. If you write about inflation and unemployment, it is one thing that you have not understood the question. The question is not about inflation and unemployment. The question is going for a deeper malice that we are seeing in the society. That is poverty. That is underprivileged sections. So you have to write. In India, majority of the sections are vulnerable sections are the underprivileged sections who are facing common problems like poverty. Government of India has been struggling to push them out of poverty. As per Multidimensional Poverty Index 2022, 22 crore of Indians are still under poverty, and India is having the world's largest poor people. In this context, Government of India has to focus on welfareistic schemes. Apart from that, it should also focus on inflation and unemployment. Now, you can directly come to the body. Why inflation is playing a crucial role? Inflation means price rise. It is when the prices are rising beyond a particular point. Obviously, it is the private poor people who are going to face this problem. What problem? If prices are very high, they don't buy the goods. If the goods are not bought, health will not be good. If the health is not good, education will not be good. If education is not good, skill will not be good. If skill is not good, unemployment is there. So if you understand this context, you can write the points. So unemployment is also one of the major thing, because the people are unemployment, they will be out of inclusive growth. The moment they are out of inclusive growth, there will be intergenerational inequality and intragenerational inequality. This makes not only them to be poor, even the upcoming generations will be very, very poor. As a result, always they will be in the cycle of vicious cycle of poverty. Hence, what government should take is government should ensure that they are pushed out of poverty through this mechanism. Apart from that, government should focus on the rest of the things. This should be the way to write the answer. So the moment you see the question, don't think that the keywords are inflation and unemployment. Yes, they are the words, but that has to be your body. But the keyword is addressing poverty, because the questions are not going beyond a particular limit that you have to understand. अभी ये 17th क्वेश्चन भी देखो. Do you agree with the view that increasing dependency of donor agencies for development reduces the importance of community participation in the developmental process? What is the question about? Justify your answer. So this is the reason, guys. अभी जब भी हम लोग एक टॉपिक डिस्कस करता है, we should be in a position to understand what the question is. Do you agree with the view that increasing dependency of donor agencies for development reduces the importance of community participation in the development process? Justify your answer. What they are asking. The question is, in the developmental process, already I said, there are different people or different agencies. What are the different agencies in the development process? Civil servants are there, civic society is there, private organizations is there. In civic society, you have NGOs, self-help groups, donors, trusts, charitable institutions. From where did I take this? Look at the syllabus. They have clearly said, look, this is the one. They asked donors, excessively depending on donors is going to make other things irrelevant. So that is the question, right? So they are saying, you always remember this. So this is the question. In any public policy, what you have to understand? You have to understand one common thing, that there is civil servants, one, there is NGOs, self-help groups, donors, charitable institutions, and stakeholders. This is the thing that you have to understand. The moment you understand that there is this contextual thing, you will understand that in the developmental process, not only government but also non-government will also play a crucial role. In the non-government, you have private and you have civic society organizations. In civic society organizations, you have these people. Hence, the question is, if you are excessively depending on one, whether you can achieve success or not, that is the thing that the question is speaking about. Obviously, you cannot achieve. Why you cannot achieve? Because development is one thing which cannot go on one line, right? It has to be a collaborative approach of all the people. So the question is this: do you agree that the view of increasing dependence on donor agencies for development reduces the importance of community participation? Justify your answer. आप justify भी करना है. So if you are excessively depending on donor agencies, to some extent, it makes other things to be redundant. For example, community participation कहाँ देखते हैं आप? NGOs में देखते हैं, self help groups में देखते हैं, trust में देखते हैं, right? Along with this, government भी participation होता है, private भी participation होता है. All these are agencies. Now they are saying, if you depend on just one factor, that is called donors, what about other stakeholders here? Various groups है, associations है, charities है, institutions है, self-help groups है, NGOs है, they too also play a crucial role. Otherwise, UPSC has not given this syllabus at all. Do you agree with the view that increasing dependence on donor agencies for the development process reduces the community participation? Yes, to the maximum extent. The reason is, the more you are depending on donors. Who is donor? Donor is a fellow who gives money as a part of their charity. But in India, you are not in a position to get that philanthropic activities, because everyone is in the developing stage. Today, we have not reached, the society has not reached to that extent where donors are available, unlike US, where you have Warren Buffett or these people. The more people are depending on donor agencies, it reduces the importance of community participation to a little extent. Why? The reasons are, donor agencies are giving grants. Now, everyone cannot be a donor. In a country like India, which is developing, almost majority of the people are middle class. Hence, donor agencies cannot fulfill the objective because of lack of resources. The second thing is, in many countries, nothing comes for free. There is quid pro quo, right? There are no free meals in the world. If someone is donating something for the developmental process, obviously there is some innote connotation that they will be expecting something in return. Hence, this is highest common thing in India. Hence, you cannot conveniently depend on donor agencies. Third one, if you are conveniently depending on donor agencies, there is no obligation on the donor agencies that they have to give every time. Maybe this year they can give or next year they can give. What about the third time if they don't give? So there might be some situations where donor agencies cannot give. So if you are entirely dependent on them, then obviously community participation might be also hurt. So what is important is, along with the donor agencies, community should not get complacent. Community should play its equal role along with the donor agencies, such as, for example, self-help groups mobilize money by participating together and overcoming the problem. I have said this in self-help groups already. So self-help groups plays a very crucial role. More than donor agencies, they play a crucial role. NGOs play a very crucial role. So you have to write about other institutions also, where I have discussed the role of each and every one, and then you have to substantiate your answer. That is how you have to build up the answer. अभी ये देखो, the right of children to free and compulsory education remains inadequate in promoting incentive-based system for children education without generating awareness about the importance of schooling. Abhi they are asking about one vulnerable section, that is this one, right? Children का LGBTs का क्वेश्चन भी पूछ लिया इसी ईयर में. अभी चिल्ड्रन का क्वेश्चन था. Now if you look at this children, they are saying for children you have right to education. You have one public policy that is called right to education, but this public policy that you have made is just looking at one thing. What is that thing? It is not, it is just promoting incentive based, inadequate in promoting incentive based system of children's education without generating awareness about the importance of schooling. Though right to compulsory and free education is making the children to go to schools, but the students who are going to schools are unable to know why schooling should be required. It is not promoting an incentive based education for the children. What is incentive based education for the children? People are going to schools, but the output from the school education is very, very low. If we take ASR report, ASCR, majority of the 8th class students could not solve 5th class mathematics. Majority of the 5th class students cannot read 2nd class English medium books or 2nd class books. This clearly shows that though we have 97 or 98% of gross enrollment ratio in the primary schools, but the outcomes are very, very poor. That is what the introduction should be. Now the question is, what they are speaking. They are not speaking about right to education. This question is about public policy making. जब भी आप public policy make करता है, whenever you prepare a public policy, एक चीज तो जरूरत ध्यान में रखना है कि how it is performing. What is this performance? अभी ये देखो, right to education, whatever the thing is, whether that is right to education, whether that is right of persons with the disabilities, why they don't work when your public policy is skewed. So the question is speaking about how to address this. Addressing is go for good public policy making. Where you have good public policy making, like I said, the Sevottam model of public policy making. So what is the Sevottam model? Hence, whenever you are designing the policy should give equal importance to education along with making the children to learn why education is there. For that, it requires good infrastructure building. What is the infrastructure building? You should build the so-called plan should be correct. You should identify the school children, and you have to incentivize the children by framing some certain policies very clearly. Such as, if the students are performing really well, give them some incentives. If the students are not performing well, conduct some extra classes for them and make their learning outcomes to be possible. The third one, enhance people to students ratio, teachers to students ratio a bit. That is also going to help you. Fourth one is experience, or make the student to learn from digital experience. That is, make them see and learn some digital things. That is going to happen. So all these things are going to build up. So where is this question about? This question is about Sevottam model. I'll show you tomorrow what are the 7 steps that you have to focus. So this is 2023 जनरल स्टडीज पेपर. अभी देखो 6 क्वेश्चंस था where I have said there will be around 75 marks in this. The question is similar. They are speaking about only one theme. The theme is governance, public policy, welfare or certain section. Answer वही होना है, right? Tomorrow we'll see further. So this is the thing, guys. Wait for 2 days, you'll understand what I am saying. But before this, if you have not understood this, watch my earlier videos where I have discussed governance क्या होता है, government क्या होता है, what are the various stakeholders in the governance, what are the various people who are participant in this, right? You have to understand this in order to understand this connotation, right? As I said, the class is only up to 8. Thanks for joining. Today evening I'll take the class from around 7 o'clock to 7:45. There I will be discussing about the answer sheets that you people are writing and sending me, right? Please join for that. So this is part 1 of the day. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.